Hi, welcome to Smarter Parenting's channel. We want to invite you to subscribe. Now, let's get down to business. And the question that we have, is it okay for parents to yell? Well, that question is tricky because it actually makes you say yes or no. But the reality is we're raising children, and children are very diverse and they're very different. Is it okay to yell? Yes, it is okay to yell sometimes, but it's depending on the situation. For example, these are situations where it's okay to yell. If you see your child crossing the street and you're far away and they don't know how to cross the street, it's okay to yell. You yell and say, "Hey, stop, don't do that." If you see your child in danger, okay, and something is going to happen to them that possibly may cause harm to themselves or to other people, yeah, you want to grab their attention. And yelling in that instance to grab their attention and to shift their focus from what they're doing is okay. Now, is it okay to yell in general? Is this your parenting style as a parent to yell? The question, if that is the question, then the answer is a hard no. And the reason that yelling is not effective as a parenting strategy or technique is that yelling doesn't do anything other than elevate the situation to where your child has to choose either a fight or flight response to you. So they will either retreat and let you yell it out, or they may actually start to argue with you. All right. And that is not a resourceful state in helping to teach your child to do something different or to even help persuade them to behave in a different way. The more effective way to do that is to communicate with them in a way that they can learn a new behavior. And if that is your end goal, that's what you want to do. So yelling in and of itself is less effective. It is not an effective way to parent your child. If you find yourself yelling quite a bit, you actually are giving your child more permission to respond that way when they feel stress or when they're angry. So yelling from you actually teaches them that they can yell too. So be very cautious and aware of those situations. Is it ever okay for a parent to yell? There are situations where, yes, yelling is necessary. But if you are learning to shape a behavior or change the way a child is to behave, if you're talking about something that's stressful, it's better not to yell and actually find more creative ways and constructive ways to build a relationship as well as express your point of view. And so this is super helpful, especially with younger children. You'll find that younger children will pick up very quickly the way that you react to situations, and they'll begin to behave the same way. If yelling is your strategy, they're going to start to use yelling as a strategy on how to deal with things. And you'll notice that. And you might yell back to stop doing that, but again, you're reinforcing that yelling is an appropriate way to respond. So be very cautious and careful about that. Again, the Smarter Parenting website has skills that will help you learn to communicate. So one of the best ways to do that is to use the skill of effective communication. And in effective communication, what you're doing is you're paying attention to how your child is responding. Now, remember, we're trying to teach children how to behave. We're not trying to punish them. We're trying to teach them, and we're trying to guide them along the path. And guidance requires us to sit back and listen and understand why they did what they did, and then for us to give them a nudge into the direction that they need to go and actually help them understand the consequences of decisions that they make. And so using the skill of effective communication on the Smarter Parenting website is a helpful tool for you to help. Now, this also begs the other question. Yelling usually is a response from anger, and if you're upset. And again, this is where a parent has to make a self-evaluation on why you are yelling at your child. If you are yelling because you're angry, because you're frustrated, because you're upset, those are absolutely non-resourceful or not helpful emotional states for you to be in helping to work with your child. So again, if you are yelling because you are upset, angry, or frustrated, those are keys for you to realize, okay, I need to step back and figure out a better way to do this and to deal with what is happening with my child. So again, is yelling okay? In certain instances, yes, to grab your child's attention. Is it okay to discipline your child? No, it is not. It's not an effective way to do that. You'll find more tips and suggestions on the Smarter Parenting website. Effective communication is the skill that I would recommend that you begin with. And again, as a parent, you need to self-assess yourself. Why are you yelling? And if the yelling is coming from a place of anger and frustration and being upset, again, you have to find ways to calm yourself down and work with your child, guiding them along the way to make better decisions. Now, again, you start to use this skill, and these kids will learn how to effectively communicate with you. And when things come up that are hard and difficult, you'll find that they'll start to copy that type of behavior and communicate with you on what they're trying to work through, because they see you as a friend and as an ally and as a parent, rather than somebody who will harp on them and consistently criticize what they're doing, or that will explode on them. And that is definitely not what children are looking for when they are struggling with something. They don't want that. They'll look for what will be supportive and helpful for them in those situations. So again, send us your questions. We're happy to answer them here at Smarter Parenting. And again, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with friends. And visit the Smarter Parenting website for these parenting skills and other parenting skills that will be super helpful for you and your family.